marry. So that's it.
Don't marry fish egg.
So we are here to talk about the themes of Broken Hallelujah. If you have not seen Broken Hallelujah, you are missing.
Yes.
If you've not seen Broken Hallelujah, you are missing a lot. Alright. So of course it's a movie by our favorite Adewale and Daniel Etim, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my two sisters have very beautiful things to contribute to this.
How do you know?
And what makes this piece actually beautiful is the fact that it's not, it's not coming from the Christian body like we know it. It's coming from the secular world, and I really appreciate that because for us, we feel that Isaiah chapter 2 verse 2 is playing out right here, right in front of us. So let's just dive into the themes of Broken Hallelujah. For you, what part, what part really got you? What part really
Actually, the part that got me the most was towards the ending part, whereby she needed to, do a whole lot of prayers. Having your faith put to work.
Just people and prayer.
Having your faith put to work is not just by saying this, but you have to act it. Then she needed to put clothes in her belly and praying with scriptures.
Wow.
All of that.
I think that part.
And I almost cried. I was so emotional when I got to that part.
Well, I didn't cry.
I didn't cry, but I was so really emotional. Like, God, people are really passing through this. People are really in this situation. You understand? So that was one the place that really got me in the movie.
Yeah, and then for me, I also feel that it's a real life experience that played out in that movie. And it's, there's every point in our lives where we have to wait for one thing or the other, It boils down from family to relationship to marriage. Yeah. So in the midst of all of these things, how do we handle the situation? How do we handle that waiting season, and all of that?
Yes, and also, at first, when I was watching that movie, I was like, what is all this kissing on the back? Kissing.
Too much. We believe that, God is working on them. The God that, that has been working through them to, get to this point.
Wait, actually, so the only part
I was just forwarding it to you.
I saw the kissing first was when he proposed to her. Was there kissing before that? I think that was when
that was where it started. Yes. And
after proposal.
Yeah. I think that's where it started. Probably they are trying to give us a picture of they are married, that's why they are kissing. But of course we don't have to.
But wait, we really need to, make something out from this. Then I'll be throwing out a question from this aspect. Is this actually normal for someone to propose to you and then you kiss right there on that?
No.
Is it normal?
No, it's not normal. Of course, it's not normal. It's not normal. Yes, it's not normal.
So why do people kiss on the day of proposals?
Where?
I just that they are children of God. Yeah, okay.
A lot of persons are even guilty of this question that you just said.
Yeah.
Because they are proposing and they'll be kissing, I don't know. For me, they look like holy kiss because you've not married a fellow.
Yeah.
And we even have, our already made ministers, proposing, holding your wives to be in, sensitive places, right? And I feel that they should represent Christians. So if we say that we are Christians, we should even represent ourselves, very well and as Christ. Okay. Let's say that in waiting seasons, how do you think people can handle waiting seasons in life?
Okay, for me, waiting season, how can you be able to overcome that? Surround yourself with people that are driving into what you are.
Wow, I think I love this.
That
we should always do. Number one, like she said, have faith in God.
Yeah.
Say He is able to do abundantly and exceedingly above all that we can ever think or ask for. If you can feel the ravens feeding the birds of the air, not that He doesn't know our needs. He knows every of our needs, but there is a plan that He already has. He has everything in place. maybe if he gives you that thing at that particular time, it will not work according to his own purpose. There is something is always establishing. You understand? So we should always have that at the back of our mind. It is not easy, but we should also always be joyful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever the enemy brings that thing that, oh, you don't have a child yet. Tell it back to the child, to the enemy. My child is coming.
Yes.
Fine, God said we should be fruitful and multiply. You understand? But that is not the real thing. There is this real assignment.
Yeah.
Even while you are doing all these things, every other plan of God, they come to fall in place. So have your faith, have the joy of the Lord in you. Like she also said, surround yourself with people.
Okay, so what advice will you give to the single waiting on God?
Okay, just like the bride said, the advice to the singles is just like the family mentioned, wait on God.
Yeah.
Wait on God. There's never an overdose of waiting on God. Wait on Him. Whatever word He has given you, if He has not given you yet, wait until He gives you. If He has not given you, keep praying. You will just see that God will be aligning you to His will.
Yeah. So another thing I would like to add to it, I would like us to talk about the guy in this aspect, the husband.
Okay.
You understand? Like he's a man of vision.
Vision, yeah.
No, please now. I'm not talking about actually go and marry. Please. That's ringing in someone's mind. No,
Exactly.
I'm not talking about that. He knows where he's going to. You understand? So look at the place of where his friend came in at the place of work. Imagine those kind of advice like get someone else. Trying to arrange other ladies for him. But because he knows where he's going, he knows the God he serves. He was almost, shaking. But even in that period, no.
Yeah, he almost fell.
He almost fell.
Yes.
But thank God for God.
Yes.
God.
I also think that there's always a point where we come across people like that in real life.
Yeah. You understand? When we read the scriptures, you hear about the kind of things people will talk about. Whatsoever things are pure.
Yeah.
Things of good intentions. You understand? So let's surround ourselves with people filled with the Spirit of God.
Exactly. The people we sit with, the kind of people we walk with, the kind of people we like roll with. Exactly, yes.
And then one more thing I would like to add. That reminds me of God's ministry. Let me say Jesus' ministry. We are very common to that actually.
Yes, let's
Okay, alright, thank you. So I remember when Jesus was on earth, he was busy helping people, doing good, healing the sick.
Yeah.
Those are our prayers, this and that, preaching the gospel and all that. So the particular point there is part of love. That's the way you show love. Showing love to people. Bimbo Ademoye, when she traveled to somewhere and she was fetching water by the wall. Normally everybody would have, I think she was sitting in Norway, but she took her time to help her. She even took the water home for the woman, not knowing that while you are helping her, she's also receiving her own help. She's helping herself also. So please do not be weary in doing good. That reminds me. I'm sorry, I just have to say this. That reminds me, before I gained admission, this will be like, almost 10 years now.
Okay.
So one of my neighbor, she's a young lady also, but she already gave birth out of wedlock. So everyone was trying to help her, put things in place. But she wasn't working, and she's this kind of people, they depend entirely on what the guy brings to the table. And I just have to
liability, ladies.
don't be a liability, please. So I think she finished secondary school, and I was like, okay, did you learn any handwork? She said, yes. So she was learning hairdressing, and she had to stop because of her. I said, now you are giving birth, so, and she also had some issues with her boss. I said that's not your problem. You will go, let's fix a date. You will beg your boss, apologize, and then you start your work. You understand, so you can have something doing. And we concluded. On the very day we were to go to our boss's office. On the way,
Yeah.
so while we were going to our own shop, I just saw one job advert placement.
Wow.
I was like, are you serious? So I said, you know what? Let's get to your shop first. When we are coming back, I will apply for this. While coming back, I was even backing our baby that day. We came back to the place and it was there I wrote the letter, did everything. So cut the long story short, I got a job from there.
Wow.
So make sure you help if it's in your capacity to do.
Yeah.
Help the person.
Be selfless.
Yeah.
Yeah, live a selfless,
That's the ministry of
selfless
help.
life.
Yeah.
Ministry of help.
Exactly.
as we call it.
Yes.
So
I think that reminds me how that Abraham was able to like come in contact with the three angels where he entertained.
Yes,
And then they had to like, speak of Isaac and the ministry of help.
Let's say Abraham had not, welcomed
Yes.
them. Would he have received?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, Kaya.
So I think there's something with
Being spirits.
the ministry of help, or let me just say help us.
Yeah.
Right where we are helping others, God is, sorting us. For me, it was really the ending of the movie that got to me, right? Because it was then I began to click it back to the beginning, click it back to the middle, click it back to everything, and then I'm like, wow, like God was right there. God was from the beginning. We may not know in the middle of it, we may not know, but God, we know God was there. He's always, He's always there.
Whenever you're choosing the life partner, be very careful. Don't just choose for ready-made person that let me say person that ready-made already has it all. One has to be very careful. Don't marry is property or marry is future.
Wow.
Yes.
Don't marry. Don't marry, but get
Marry.
Yes, because why?
That.
Most times things might turn off. So what keeps you going? What keeps you going? Marry a man whose
vision.
Yes, vision. Yes, marry a man whose authority is not just physical, but spiritual. Let me say, it has this authority. Let me say, it has this relationship with God. It keeps you going. So always learn to try to trust the process and embrace the suspect. It's very important.
Even when the mother offered her an alternative.
Yes.
She was like,
if
they were not standing.
Yeah.
If they were not standing well, the alternative would just sweep them away.
So let us always have this consciousness that it's with me.
Oh, thank you,
This is
Jesus.
me.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you remember the part that after giving birth to triplets,
Yeah.
the husband it's like she didn't even open that gift. The husband was the one who brought the shot. I was like, what is this? Three. You can match three.
She just said, oh.
You understand? And she now remember that.
Yes.
Mom, you understand?
Yes.
Promises of God.
Yeah.
God must have been telling you some things in your work, in your
Yes.
prayers. In that challenges, you've been receiving some words.
Yes.
Are you keeping them? Are you taking note of those words?
Yeah.
I spoke
about the promises of God. Yes. Sometimes it doesn't click until when those things begin to unfold. And then we will now be like, Jesus, so this was what this word meant.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this thing. Oh, this was,
They become clearer.
It becomes clearer. And so those of us or those of you that receive words from God, what we do with those words matter. Yes. The first time she received that gift, I think she gave it out.
Yes.
She gave it out.
Yes.
So
She gave it out.
that was like she gave out
You people that people will give you gifts and you now want that somebody.
I think that was like
Even without the person's permission.
Yeah.
I think that was even like her giving out her testimony. Because until the woman had to come again to give her a new one, then she told
It's
her.
not everything you give out. So.
Yes. It's not everything you give out. I like that point. When God gives us word, keep it, walk with it, make do with the word, let it manifest.
I think I've made my point. So I would still like people to share their opinions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, comment. Let us know, what do you feel? What's your take? What's your take on it in every aspect of the movie?
We just established that there's always that point in our lives where we go through different seasons, waiting, especially you're waiting for baby, you're waiting for that marriage, you're waiting for that proposal to click, you're waiting for that job to click, you're waiting for the way that we handle all of those things really matter. There's always every point that we have to wait in our life. but we waiting on God, waiting with God's quickening, waiting on God's power, waiting on God's grace, especially. Yeah, where He, replaces our weakness with His strength. Yeah, yeah.
And in your process, do not trust in your own self.
Yeah.
Trust in the
yes.
Lord with all your heart, and you definitely direct your path.
Direct your
Yes.
path.
Trust the
Yes.
process. The process can be very difficult, but at the end of it,
Yeah.
it's rejoicing.
Yeah. Once again, I'm Moinda.
Sarah.
Mojisola.
Sarah,
Thank you for watching. Like, please
kindly subscribe.
Like to end with this little song,
Oh yeah!
Okay, yeah, sorry, I almost forgot that. Yeah, it's cool. The song says,
Yeah.
hold on, trust on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, there we go?
Yeah, sure.
It could be that now.